Spurs caught offside 7 times, Arsenal once, and a total of only 3 bookings, because we've had it confirmed by the referee that he did not, in fact, book Kevin Campbell. So I suppose to all the statistics you can add 1 mistake by commentator. Or maybe you spotted a few more. Away we go on the second half. Arsenal attacking the goal to our left. And here's Winterburn. Kick by Sedgley. Oh, we've seen how well Spurs can play an attack, but George Graham certainly will have geared up his side to give a real test to the Tottenham defence. How much, as Bowl waits for the free kick, how much has that late goal in the first half changed the balance? Just away by Mabbott. Free kick by Allen. Limpar, he challenged. Adams has come up, as has Bold. 1 of 3. Merson is the last to make the run and gets ahead, but not sufficiently ahead with his head.
Chance to perhaps show his individual flair going forward, taking defenders on. He is dangerous though when he gets on a little purple spell, and I think Arsenal, important opening 10 minutes of this second half, they've got to try and get the dominance that Spurs had in that opening period themselves, and try and sustain some pressure and sort of push Spurs back on the defensive and not allow their midfield 5 to dominate.
This is Campbell. This is a good run too. Taken off his toe by Vanden Hauwe. But confident movement by the young man who's made the forward place his own in the second half of the season. Free kick, bit of holding by Bold on Lineker.
I think this is just a bit too far for even Paul Gascoigne to chance a shot.
You might think so. It's a question of whether he thinks so.
I'm sure he doesn't.
Referee is getting the ball back 10 yards. And Gascoigne's got a further 10 yards back from that to run if he's to have a crack. And the referee placing the ball in the right place. Of course, it will be moved, or was moved, just a couple of centimetres. In he comes. Not quite as memorable as his first. Play by Samways. Can't argue with the comments at half-time about Paul Gascoigne being the star of the show, but it's because he has such a high profile. But I tell you what, Vinnie Samways wasn't too far behind him.
Well, I had Vinnie Samways and Paul Allen as two very close alongside Paul Gascoigne. I thought those pair were just as devastating as Gascoigne, but it was that midfield department that was the dominant factor.
Winterburn. Certainly justified his inclusion at the expense of Naeem. Won by Smith. This is Limpar, and this is Merson. Took it away from Lee Dixon.
They're pushing up much better in this opening period, Arsenal. Lee Dixon and Nigel Winterburn, and also the forward wide players, Merson and Limpar. They're supporting Smith and Campbell much better, and Spurs are having to occupy themselves defensively more.
Intended as a crossfield ball to Gascoigne. Free kick. No, says the referee. Both went for the ball. The referee was right on the spot. brings up the back two, and the players all tight with the centre circle, pulling back now. Smith. Free kick. And Arsenal have pushed 6 players forward, Adams among them. Sedgley trying to hold the line just outside the 18-yard area. Bowled up on the left, up by Davis. Campbell, appeal for handball. And it's given.
Very difficult to get a free kick in like that, hanging from a straight ball, and most defences should deal with it. If at all possible, it's much better to get out wide and get the crosses in from a better angle.
Slip by Stewart. Good wide ball by Campbell. An excellent piece of full-back play to deny another full-back.
Done well, young Edinburgh. Playing in a Wembley semi-final like this, he's coped, as I say, extremely well, because he wouldn't have sampled such an atmosphere before.
Yes, they don't quite get 80,000 at Roots Hall, do they?
I think they'd like to, though. I suppose we better mention that is Southend for those that don't support the Essex club, but they look as if they could be in the second division next year.
Howells beaten to it by Adams. Sedgley. Allen. Gascoigne. Elaborate dummy. Good tackle. He's made 3 or 4 like that. Aggressive but fair. Timing excellent. Tony Adams. Campbell and Sedgley. Campbell stole half a yard. Sedgley just got the foot. Solid challenge with Merson. But the referee has given a free kick and indicated that the ball was pushed along with the arm. One of the curiosities with the referee, Ray Lewis, is that for him this is a bit of a rehearsal too, because he'll be back next week. I think that suggests that the League Cup final is now being played too late in the season, but that's only a personal view. Allen trying to get between two. Lineker. Samways did well and withstood the pressure of Davis. Needs support wide, gets it. Challenge on him was late, but the referee allowed play to continue. Tottenham not with quite the flow that they had in the first period. Fine ball by Merson to Winterburn. And difficult, Campbell. And Thomas was nearest in the end.
There's Winterburn, who's making those forward runs that helps the Arsenal attack so much. And there's Sedgley just hooking his left leg. Not sure he intended to play it back to his goalkeeper, but that's where it ended up. But Arsenal are getting forward in numbers much better.
Free kick against Steve Bold. A couple of examples already of the Arsenal fullbacks getting forward. That's a free kick against Limpar, who hasn't been the factor in the match that Arsenal need him to be. Samways, I think, calming things a bit for Gascoigne. Allen, 3 for the back post, and Seaman with a quality claim, with a bit of pushing anyway. Here's Dixon. Giles was nowhere near him as he made the break, because he'd been forward with the attack. Sedge's clearance. Indicative, I wonder, of the change of feeling. Samways. Lineker. Simple but very effective. 4 in support here. Adams' challenge. Ten minutes of the second half have elapsed. No additions to the score, but Arsenal playing far, far better. Tottenham not quite as well. Dixon. Long for Campbell, met by Sedgley. Edinburgh. Good pass. Again, simple but effective. Used to be the old Tottenham maxim. And this is Allen. Played simple, play it quick. Used to be the comments of Arthur Rowe. Tottenham manager on the 50s side. Good play by Mabbott. Stewart didn't get there. Smith got ahead of him. Campbell resisted the challenge well. Davis. Arsenal get it wide again. 3 waiting. And a man over. Campbell. The man over was Limpar. That's for whom the pass was intended. Good play by Allen. Neatness from Arsenal. It's coming down to Winterburn. Still Winterburn. It's over the top.
Winterburn got forward so effectively in the second half. He's making a lot of problems here. Just touches it over, heads it over then Gary Mabbott, who tries, probably could have done with the right foot there, and he has to stretch with his favoured left and lift it over Torstvedt, but the goal as well. But he's getting some good angles, getting into attack, not worrying so much about his defensive duties, which is Arsenal have to do if they're going to get back into this match.
Smith again. Gascoigne hasn't been involved anything like as much. Free kick is against him. Adams, Bold, Campbell and Smith in a line. Bold and Adams make the first dummy run. Now they go again. Away not hugely well by Howells. And Smith. Tottenham are all pushing out, and they nearly got caught.
As you say, they came out to play the offside. Smith timed his run well. It was a bit unfortunate for him. It's one of those through balls that just hangs in the air, and there was a big groan from Arsenal supporters who thought he might have done better, but he couldn't head it from there, and he couldn't volley it, and he had to try and knock it on, and that gave the opportunity for Spurs to get back.
Arsenal build, 2 of the midfield players are cut out of it. They're using the longer ball much more. This is Campbell. Good combination between Mabbott and Torstvedt.
quite a variation in the style, isn't there? Spurs knocking it in, interchange in between the midfield, and Arsenal getting back into it by using that aerial advantage they think they've got. They saw Alan Smith head a goal, and now they're trying to capitalise on Campbell and Smith, perhaps in the air.
Bold. Winterburn on the left touchline. Bold uses the space. It doesn't find a good pass. And Gascoigne, who really hasn't been involved in the second half, and I think the indications are that he won't be on for much longer. We've had an hour of the match, 2/3 of the contest. 3 goals, 2-1 in favour of Tottenham. Smith. And the substitution will now be made. Gascoigne, who has written his notes on this semi-final, and the man who replaces him is Naeem. So it's a midfield player for a midfield player, but Naeem's task is to make sure that what Gascoigne has helped Tottenham achieve is not, in the end, to be wasted. Up to Campbell. This is Paul Merson. Limpar, the ball was a bit square. Wanted something to run onto then, Limpar, but the pass made him slow his stride a bit.
Again, the ball in the air, though, nodded on by Campbell. Terry Venner was just making sure tactically the switch is all sorted out, though Naeem has now gone on to the left-hand side, who perhaps watched Lee Dixon, and David Howells has been moved more into a centre, perhaps to add a bit more competitive edge now that Arsenal seem to be coming forward better.
Limpar again. They're all a bit close, the Arsenal front three. Still Limpar. Van Hal with the challenge. Stewart, who eventually played it back. Well, handshakes all around Paul Gascoigne. And in spite of the energy that he's used, I bet there'll be a few words said during this last 28 minutes or so. Merson hoping to find Dixon, but unless he caught a train, he was never going to catch that. And Perry Groves to be introduced by Arsenal. And the man to come off is the Swede Anders Limpar, who's had a disappointing match, in my opinion.
Southampton in the week, Limpar was quiet again, and he was taken off. On that occasion, Merson was being rested, and he came on. And this time is Perry Groves coming into the action. I can understand it, because I think as the game has gone, Limpar's been in some good situations and not capitalised on them as perhaps he's done earlier in the season.
And I'm sure you, Trevor, can remember when Perry Groves came on in a League Cup final here against Liverpool to, in the end, supply the telling ball. By Bold. Merson. Cover by Edinburgh. Had a tidy game. Lineker makes it his. Allen found nobody outside him. Free kick is given. The shoulders looked pretty adjacent. The referee again in a good position. Samways. Howells. Lineker, they were pleading for offside, which he certainly wasn't. The line was very square, but it often is for Arsenal. Allen. Early cross in, but met confidently by Bold. Stewart tried to work his angle, but rather telegraphed his intention. So we've passed 20 minutes in the second half. Still Tottenham Hotspur 2, Arsenal 1. But Arsenal a far greater threat in this second period. Stewart. Tottenham were making the ball do the work far more in the first half than they are in the second. Didn't seem to be too many options open then to Stewart, did there?
I think they've tired a little bit when you think of all the running they did the first 45 minutes, and then from the other side, Arsenal are pushing up much better and denying them the space that they did have in that first period.
Handball against Allen. Smith, Davis, Merson, Bold, Campbell, all forward. Groves will wait to let it go for the throw.
He's got a long throw as well, Perry Groves. This will go right into the penalty area.
Quite legitimate what Paul Allen is doing. Flag is up on the far side, and Tottenham have the free kick. Change of tactics, George Graham. The midfield is often being left with the longer ball, looking for Campbell and Smith. And by Smith in the air again. Not the best of headers by Adams. He's a bit cross with himself, the skipper. This is Davis. Merson finds Dixon, did well. Free waiting in the middle. Smith. Mabbutt. It's out. Low just about halfway between the 18-yard line and the goal line. Bold comes forward again. So did Adams. It's a cross. Good header by Naeem. He was pushed.
Good defending by Spurs, because Arsenal are extremely dangerous from the long throws and set pieces. I think with the height of Bold and Adams and Smith and Campbell, the chances are Arsenal will always get the first touch. So the important thing for defenders is to concentrate and make sure you get the knock on.
Winterburn. Free kick against Van den Haar. The referee didn't like that challenge, neither did Groves, and neither would any neutral. Questioning the referee's correctness and the lack of it from Mr. Van den Haar. Looked like a bit of a hand then by Stewart on Campbell. Davis. A little bit bunched for Arsenal. They could spread it out now though. Merson took a good position. Smith shot. Torsvett was well aware it was going wide.
Good snapshot from Smith, because Merson tries to clip it through. It comes to him very quickly. Bit of a shinner, and I think Torsvett was always there. As you can see, had to hit it pretty quick, spinning towards the goal, but he was covering that far post just in case.
Bold. And by Stewart. Thomas, Davis, Winterburn. Challenged by Allen. Stewart.
It was a foul, but Paul Stewart did dive to make sure that he got it.
One by Bold. Seem to be saying one by an Arsenal player. Rather too frequently for Tottenham's liking. Dixon, he got a little nudge then. Free kick is given. Not even complaining. Not entirely fraternal. Again, the big fellows bunching in the middle. Davis to take it. Too short, out by Sedgley. It's a second chance that he uses arm nose, as the referee. In by Dixon, and Torsvett did well. The linesman's flag stayed down. To Tottenham's surprise.
Terrific bit of goalkeeping that, because Lee Dixon got in a very early cross. Spurs rushing up. Thought they'd got the offside, and it was only just inside the 18-yard box that Torsvett came out very quick to beat Campbell and Smith to it.
Sedgley. Lineker. Well played, Steve Bold, but up comes Samways. He's hit that a little harder than he intended, I suspect. But it's still two waiting in the middle. Naeem. Tottenham not committing players as they were before. Not sure what that achieved. Naeem. This might do a bit more. Good weaving run off the foot of Bold as Lineker was cocking the trigger. Merson. This is Allen. Lineker. Typical header falling away, but away from the far post as well. Good cross, because it was one-on-one in the middle, and Lineker got ahead of his man by that little pullback.
A little clap there from Gary Lineker, because it was a good cross from Paul Allen. He was the only choice. He whipped it in again, and Allen making runs forward. There he is, and getting in crosses in the attack. But the extra bonus is he tackles back so well for a wide player. He's a very tenacious little terror.
That was surely handball. Yes. Smith looking for it, and won it. Covered by Stewart, although not the best of clearances. Allen. Determination from Winterburn as well. Groves. Crossed the line and a fine tackle. Oh, what a lovely little loop of the ball forward too from Mabbott after the tackle. Howes. Really finely poised, the contest. Naeem will get that. Made hard work of it. And the cross beat the two Tottenham players. And Howes is not going to get back. In fact, three of the midfield players were still up then for Tottenham. Samways.
Now that Gascoigne has gone off, Vinny Samways has come back into the game yet again, and I put him close with Paul Allen to men of the match overall, because being an important influence in Gascoigne's absence in the league is naturally enough gained in confidence and looking a very accomplished player today.
Naeem. Slight hesitancy. Good tackle by Edinburgh. Mabbott fed it well. Naeem to the left. Samways ahead. And Lineker uses him by not using him. Good try, score! And David Seaman will be very disappointed about that. It seemed to go through his fingers. Good break by Tottenham. Very, very good running by Samways that helped the opening. But I don't think David Seaman will be too happy. Look at the run he makes. And that gives a bit of space to Lineker to his right. But the shot seemed to go through the fingers.
Well, a poor soft goal, but as you say, Vinny Samways, look at his run there, takes ball, Tony Adams dives in, Gary Lineker gets a yard away from him, stretches for the shot, and Seaman appeared to get both hands to it, went through his fingers, and I think that expression sums up what he thinks about it.
Well, a goal, should be said, against the balance of play, but then that was the case when Arsenal scored. Tottenham have been seen more as defenders in this second half, but they got the break and they got the fortune of the England goalkeeper. Wembley can be very hard on goalkeepers, particularly in cup ties. Usually, of course, the final is the first time a semi-final here.
I think we should perhaps acknowledge Seaman's performances for Arsenal during the season, because all right, today's been a bad one for him, but their league position at the top of the table on occasions, I think everyone will sort of acknowledge the displays he's put in.
Merson. Here's a chance, Smith! Blocked by Torsvett's feet. Winterburn, free kick. David Seaman down on his haunches. He's alone with his thoughts. Only 14 times has he been beaten in the league, but beaten 3 times in this semi-final. Now, can Arsenal come straight back? Davis, they've got a man up at the back. Smith, good save. That, of course, always makes it worse for the man in the other goal when he sees his opposite number make an important save like this one. Smith got away and Bold was waiting. Smith with the nod down, Thomas and Paul Stewart, and finally it's Mabbott. Smith, who's not one to complain, suggesting to the referee that he was pushed a bit. And this is the first corner of the match. There'll be some delay before it's taken because of the injury. Corner, when it comes, will be inside the last 10 minutes of the match. Venables in consultation with Paul Walsh. This is the third goal, which has made all the difference for Tottenham. Lineker away from Adams, and the shot off the fingertips of poor David Seaman. Corner is taken, and it's won by Campbell and turned away by Edinburgh.
When things are going for you, Eric Torswick came for the corner, missed it on that occasion. Campbell got the header, and it was knocked off the line. And another day, those sort of decisions will be costly.
Good bounce again, won by Thomas. Bold, Campbell, still Campbell. Oh, and he hit the woodwork! Merson, and it's just a whisker away. Well, you've got to hand it to Arsenal. This is a very good comeback from going 3-1 down. Off the crossbar, back to Merson, just wide.
Unlucky there, Kevin Campbell. As you say, a lot of sides, 3-1 down, the heads would have gone, but it surged back forward, two close shaves, and a goal with, what, 8 or 9 minutes to go would have made all the difference. Whilst it's 3-1, Spurs have always got that cushion.
Here's Samways. 4 up for Tottenham, 4 back for Arsenal. Good run by Samways. And it's off Michael Thomas for the corner. And wouldn't you know it, a corner at one end is followed by a corner at the other. And Arsenal having to commit themselves were only parity then, 4 and 4. Naeem wants someone to come short. Lineker in the 6-yard box with 2 defenders and a goalkeeper. Naeem trying to go the long way round, and he's got a free kick. Eight minutes away from coming back to Wembley, one has to say this time, for Terry Venable's team. 8 minutes for Arsenal to somehow keep the chance of the double alive. Merson. Nice touch by Naeem. Not a good pass though, but that wasn't a good clearance. This is Stewart. Offside, Lineker.
And all the midfield players who've done well on the day, we've a little bit ignored Gary Lineker, but you have to say we went away for a break, didn't we, after that England game? Got a couple of goals in the league against Southampton, had a rest in the week, and here he is, an important semi-final, a game popping up to get 2 crucial goals and get his side now to, I think, the final.
Yes, I must say, those who thought to write him off after the Republic of Ireland game, after one poor performance, really should have known better. Howells. Adams. Groves wants it forward. Turn by Smith, he's still got a lot to do and he did it well. He's got support for Winterburn. Campbell didn't make it. Peel for handball. Smith appealing, Campbell appealing. The only one who could have seen among the officials was the linesman on the far side. Adams. 6 minutes to go. Tottenham's free kick. Gascoigne and Lineker, 2 for Tottenham, Smith for Arsenal. And Irving Scholar, is he still going to be in charge of the club if they get to the final, is a question that might be asked.
I think the price might have gone up a little bit as well after today.
Well, one thing's for sure, Lazio will have to wait. And that's good news for British football as well as for Tottenham. And Paul Walsh is to get into the action. Stewart. He's more comfortable in midfield than he has on many occasions playing forward. Spent most of the season in midfield, and that was his back pass. We are into the last 5 minutes of this first semi-final. It was a bit much to expect after the 2 extravaganzas last season, but the start that Paul Gascoigne gave to this match has been followed. It's been a good contest. 2 0-0 draws in the league. 4 goals have been scored here. Free kick against Naeem. Free kick quickly taken, but not from the right place. And the man to go off deserves great applause. He's hobbling a little bit. Vinnie Samways has had one of the best matches he's played for Tottenham. One to come through from the junior sides, and he really has played well. Gets the applause of his manager, and Paul Walsh gets into the action. Walsh, who was with Liverpool in '86, and they were successful at Wembley in the final, but didn't get into the squad. This is Groves, out by Mabbott. Allen was caught. Campbell, good save.
Was a good save. He's a tall lad, Torsford, but to get down to that good ground shot, Paul Allen just losing possession. Kevin Campbell, once he sees the sight on goal, he doesn't hesitate. But there, that big palm just touching it round the post.
Arsenal still alive. Header was by Sedgley. Again Sedgley, then Stewart, Dixon. It's done well, done very well indeed. If Smith can collect that, and he can. 4 waiting in the middle. In comes Bowles. Foul on the goalkeeper.
It was a foul. The previous clearance, again, the header was Paul Stewart, and the bonus of having him in midfield, that gives him a bit more time to sort of use the ball than he does when he's up front. There's Paul Gascoigne, I think, celebrating, not surprisingly. But Paul Stewart wins such a lot of balls defensively as well. George Graham, not so happy, although he knows on Wednesday he's got another league match and he's got to set his mind to that. But today, I think, to be fair, Spurs have played very, very well and thoroughly deserved to be ahead and be headed for a cup final in May.
Cut out by Van den Hauwe, who played it well when Campbell came in for the challenge. Van den Hauwe again. On well by Lineker to Paul Allen. Paul Walsh is up as well. Arsenal outnumbered here. Allen! What an unfortunate ending from his point of view.
I think he was so tired by the time he got there, he could only knock it to David Seaman and said, over to you.
Groves. Encouragement for the final whistle. We make it 90 seconds of the 90 minutes left. Dixon. Sedgley. Bowl is underneath it. Adams. Smith couldn't take it. And Paul Allen finds some more energy. Free kick against Kevin Campbell, whose hopes, like those of his teammates, of coming back here are disappearing. Which is a bit of an understatement. There'll be a few more moments left. They're celebrating at the Tottenham end. They're a bit quiet at the Arsenal end, and 1 or 2 leaving. And that supporter's having more to say than anyone. And what a contrast with Anders Limpar. Been so important to Arsenal this season, the Swede. but run into a spell of disappointing form for George Graham's team. David O'Leary, who came here with 3 consecutive finals, 78, 79 and 80, but he's not to be back next month. This, in some respects, was a final rehearsal, but only half the cast would come back to appear before the Prince and Princess of Wales next month, and the half that's coming back will be wearing white. It's just now the time that Mr. Lewis is allowed for a few stoppages. A good game, the referee. Naeem. Merson loses to Naeem. 1 against 1 down the middle. This is Paul Walsh, who goes on his own and was determined to go on his own, to Lineker's disappointment, but he didn't find the shot to match the run.
Gary Lineker shouting across at him. He wanted it square. I think he's on the lookout for his hat-trick, but I think at 3-1 he'll settle for just 2.
Stewart. Gets past Lee Dixon. Staked by Paul Davis. Allen to Walsh. And Tottenham only need to play out time. Termination from Arsenal to the finish. This is Campbell. Play on. Campbell was about to pick that up for the free kick, but in fact the free kick has been given. Thomas, Groves. They're all calling for it forward. Groves again. Merson coming up round the back. Heading header by Edinburgh. One of the unsung players in the Tottenham side who's played so well.
And the skipper who just put the ball away there, Gary Mabbutt, has played very well as well alongside Steve Sedgley.
An example to any professional player, Gary Mabbutt, and he's going to bring his team back here for the final. And Gaza with the kisses and being kissed, and I look at Terry Venables. Goodness me, they were kids together, Venables and Gascoigne. Lineker joining in. The delight is all Tottenham's, and on the pitch are players of Arsenal, knowing that their dream of a second double for that club have gone. Gascoigne giving the match an electrifying start. Arsenal coming back, but Lineker's 2 goals bringing Tottenham back for the final and giving Terry Venables reason to smile in a time of adversity as he still tries to plot the way to saving the club. Poor David Seaman, you have to have sympathy for him. Where there are heroes, there have to be those cast by history in the opposite role. And Gascoigne will run all around Wembley. Lineker, who was on the losing side for Everton, gets his chance to make amends for that. David Rocastle consoles Michael Thomas. The first Wembley semi-final has been a triumph for Tottenham Hotspur, and Paul Gascoigne wants to make absolutely sure that everyone here is aware of that.
Oh, it goes over to the crowd, gives it the lead. But, I mean, when you think he had the operation, 5 weeks, played once in midweek, and here he was, playing for an hour. And there's no question he gave Spurs the launching pad to come back here in May.
Gascoigne's free kick in the 5th minute. Lineker, Tottenham second in the 10th. Arsenal coming back on the stroke of half-time through Alan Smith. And then Gary Lineker, after Arsenal have played far, far better in the second half, deciding the match with Tottenham's third goal in the 76th minute.